Over the hill, along the track, through the wood, around the haystack. Keep on going, that's where you'll find Dappledown. The meadow is sweet, the duck pond is clean, the stable's warm and the grass is green. Miles from town, that's where you'll find Dappledown. You'll come to no harm on Dappledown Farm. Dappledown's waiting for you. So come and join us, everyone's here. Down on Dappledown, down on Dappledown, down on Dappledown Farm.
Morning. Hello, Straw. Hello, Stubble.
Morning, Brian.
Morning.
Look, Straw's got her book out and she won't tell me what's in it.
Oh, well, what's it all about then, Straw? What's the book?
It's my diary.
What?
Yeah, what's a diary, Brian? She won't tell me.
Oh, well, a diary is a book that you write down all the things you've done in. See? For instance, I've just arrived to see you, so you might write that in your diary.
I have.
Or you have already? Oh, I see. Right. Or you might arrange to meet Mabel or Dapple, so you can write that in. See?
Oh.
That's so you don't forget. Don't forget which day or which time you're going to meet them, you see?
Yeah. But I see her all the time, don't I, Brian?
Well, yes, I know, but you might still like to write it down, mightn't you? Eh? What have you written in? What have you written in so far?
Well, I've been watching everybody for the past couple of days. And
Yeah,
I've written
she has.
every movement in my diary.
Ah.
Well, Brian,
Yes.
I can't even write.
Well, that's all right. I'll show you how to do a bit of writing later
Will
on.
you?
I was just thinking, Straw, if you've written down everything that everybody's done over the past few days...
Which she has.
Yeah. Would you mind telling me, have you any idea where I've left my hat? You see, I've lost it.
Oh, yeah, Brian, you've lost your hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I'll help, Ryan, but you'll have to give me a minute to find the right page. Now, when did you last have it?
Well, I don't know. The last time I can remember having it at all was yesterday down at the pond, but that's a thought, isn't it? It might be down at the pond, yes.
That's funny, you know, Stubble. I've got it down here in my diary that he put it in the hen house when he was collecting the eggs.
Oh. Oh, there you are, you two. Oh, guess what I've just found hidden away in the reeds over on the Duck Pond Island?
I don't know.
A Martian spaceship.
Not another one.
Yes.
What did it look like?
It had a great big black rim around it, and underneath it was all black and round, probably so the Martians couldn't be seen coming into land. And then on top it had these great big white glowing round shapes.
Oh, did these big white glowing round shapes look anything like geese eggs?
Oh, Colin, yes, just the same as geese eggs.
Oh, Millie, I've seen that. It's just an old bowler hat that one of the geese has laid its eggs in.
A hat? Oh, I'd better go and check all the other Martian spaceships in case they're hats.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
Oh, hello, Brian.
Hello, yeah, morning. Have you seen my hat? I've lost my hat.
No, we haven't.
No.
When did you lose it?
Well, I lost it yesterday sometime. I don't remember.
Oh, well, why don't you try to remember what you did yesterday? I mean, I can remember exactly what I did.
Yes, I woke up first and called for you.
Yes, and then we had some breakfast.
And we played hide and seek.
Yeah, well, I remember that I fed Dapple. Now, I gave him an apple and some carrots, but after that, I can't remember a thing.
Brian, can you remember one of your stories for us?
Oh, yes.
I suppose I can. Yes, yes, I know what it's one about you, Lucky Ducky. Yes. Whack, whack, whack. Is it all right if I go exploring with Colin today? Said Lucky Ducky to her mum as she gulped down her breakfast. That's fine, said her mum, smiling, but I want you to collect the weed for tea first. Oh, quacked Lucky Ducky, do I have to? Well, the quicker it's done, the quicker you can go exploring, replied her mum. How many times had Lucky Ducky heard her say that before? So, Lucky Ducky shrugged her shoulders and set off. But she hadn't gone very far before she spotted a huge spider sitting on a lily leaf. It was sitting with its bottom on the leaf and its front legs dangling in the water. Shh, it hissed as she approached. Lucky Ducky stopped and stared, for she'd never seen a spider on the pond before. She thought spiders lived on dry land and wove themselves webs to live in. But this one seemed to be fishing. And then, as she watched, the spider darted out to catch a tiny fish that had swum too near the surface. But it wasn't quick enough. The fish had been frightened by Lucky Ducky's noisy paddling and had dashed off to hide in the weeds.
"Now look what you've done,"
said the raft spider.
"That was my dinner."
Lucky Ducky said she was sorry and hurried off. But she hadn't gone very much further before she noticed the long, sleek body of a snake slither out of the reeds and swim strongly in her direction. Its yellow collar stuck out above the water and its forked tongue flicked backwards and forwards. Lucky Ducky stood and stared, for she'd never seen a snake on the pond before. She thought they lived on dry land and couldn't swim. But this snake swam as easily as a fish. It hissed as it pushed past her. Lucky Ducky watched the snake slide up the bank and into the bushes. And then she went on her way. But she hadn't gone much further before she heard a loud buzzing noise. And then from behind a clump of marsh marigolds there appeared a flotilla of tiny speedboats. Except they weren't speedboats, of course. They were whirligig beetles, and they were heading straight at her. "Get out of the way!" screeched these beetles as they fixed their tiny eyes on Lucky Ducky. She had just enough time to dive underwater as they zoomed over her head. But even here, she was not safe from their gaze, for the beetles' eyes had two halves, one to look above the water and one to look below. Lucky Ducky had never seen anything like this before. And when the beetles had gone, Lucky Ducky swam as fast as she could to the other side of the pond, and there she collected the weed her mother had asked her for and paddled back home. "Thank you," said her mum when Lucky Ducky got home. "Now you can go off exploring. Colin's waiting for you at his nest." Lucky Ducky looked at her mum and sighed. "It's all right, Mum," she said. "I think I'll stay in. I've done enough exploring for one day." At the bottom of the meadow where the tall reeds grow lies a still, calm duck pond with some creatures I know. There's a black tufted duck with a bright yellow beak who's called Lucky Ducky and quacks with a squeak. A moor hen called Millie has a nest next door and fusses and bustles by the pond's sandy shore. Then there's Colin the coot, who's a bit of a lad. He's always up to mischief, but he's not really bad. And Harry the Heron standing under the willow, still in the water as he waits for a minnow. Last of all is Fiona, a tiny green frog who can swim underwater and climb a big log. At the bottom of the meadow where the tall reeds grow lies a still, calm duck pond with the creatures I know.
Oh, morning, Brian.
Morning.
Brought me my breakfast. I'm starving.
Did I have my hat on when I fed you yesterday?
What a daft question. More interested in my tummy,
It's
Brian.
not a daft question, Dapple. I've lost my hat and I'm trying to remember where I put it.
Brian,
Yes?
I've got a lovely hat here you can have.
Have you? Oh, isn't that kind of a... Yeah. Oh. Well, thank you very much. Yes.
Oh.
I don't think it's quite me, though, do you?
Is it the colour?
The colour and the style, I think.
No, not to worry. I've got a nice blue one. I'll just pop and get it
I
for
wish you would.
Oh,
Thank you.
Brian,
Yes?
can I please have that apple now?
Oh, yes. All right, then. There you are. Polished it up for you. Oh,
Here's
thank
the
you.
blue one, Brian.
Yes. Well, it's similar in style, but I quite like it. What do you think of
Much
that?
more you.
Yeah.
Now,
What?
you haven't forgotten about that doggy that's coming today, have you?
Do you know I had? Yes, we've got another dog coming to visit us today. Apart from Bonzo, I better make sure that he's got a basket ready and all that sort of thing.
He's not very with it today, is he?
No, he'd forgotten all about that poor dog.
Hmm.
Dapple, do you like dogs?
Oh, well, yes. I mean, sometimes they sniff everything about, though, and that annoys me, but, oh, I know a song about a dog. You ready for a song, Mabel?
Frankly, no.
Good. I had a dog and his name was Dandy. His tail was long and his legs were bandy. His eyes were brown and his coat was sandy. The best in the world was my dog Dandy. Come on, Mabel, join in.
Oh, if I must, I'm sure I can improve on it somehow.
Give it a try. I had a dog and his name was Dandy. His tail was long and his legs were bandy. His eyes were brown and his coat was sandy. The best in the world was my dog Dandy.
Oh, I've just thought I have another hat Brian might like.
Oh, I hope you've got one he might like.
Bandy, dandy, handy, bandy. Dandy.
Columbus, I've been looking for Brian to see if he wants to wear this hat. What do you think? Columbus, what do you think? Columbus, will you wake up? Now, I'm very worried about Brian. He seems to have lost his memory.
Oh, memory. Count him.
What do you mean?
Hat.
But there's only one.
Oh. Hat.
Not very challenging for a mathematical genius.
Right, Stubble, are you ready to learn to spell
Yeah,
and write your name, perhaps, eh?
yeah. Brian,
Yes.
I'm not surprised you lost that hat.
Why?
Well, it's strange, isn't it?
What's oh, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, this is one of Mabel's jobs. Yeah.
Oh, well, that figures.
That's very
yeah,
kind of her.
look, I know my ABC and all
Well,
that.
All right, well, let's just go through it. This is all in capital letters, this one. But you just tell me what the sounds make, all right? We'll start at the top. A,
A,
B,
B,
C,
K,
D,
D,
E,
E,
F,
F,
G,
G,
H,
H,
I,
E,
J, or I, or yes.
I,
J,
J,
yes.
J,
K,
K,
L,
L,
M,
M,
M. Right, at the top again. N,
N,
O,
O,
O, or O, yes. P,
P,
Q. Q is a difficult one. It usually goes
Qu,
with
Qu,
usually goes with a U, yes. Qu, Qu. R,
R,
S,
S,
T, U,
A,
V,
F,
W,
W,
X. Well, it doesn't.
X.
Don't worry about that. X, sort of X, yes, really. Y,
Y,
yeah, yeah. Now, come on, just concentrate. There's only one more to go. Z,
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 Z.
Z, Z.
See, I know them all, Brian.
Ziz.
You're always testing me on
Yes,
them.
I know. That's very good. Now, would you like to write your name? Hmm?
Well, yeah. Look, I know that it starts with a
It starts with a S, and it finishes when you realise you haven't got the chalk.
Oh,
I've got
Can't
it,
write
Brian.
anything. Oh, you've got it.
I put it in my diary so I wouldn't forget.
Thank you,
Oh.
Straw.
she's been putting everything in her diary.
Yes.
Brian forgot chalk.
There's no need to put exactly everything in your diary.
Told you.
Right. Are you ready? First
Yeah, I'm
sound
ready.
is... That's a big S. Right, next.
T, T,
Yes. Now, this is small letters. Ooh, squeaks, doesn't it?
Ah,
Right.
B,
B.
L.
No, there's actually there are two B's in your name.
Oh, yeah. I always forget that, Brian, don't I?
Yes.
B, L.
L. And on the end, yeah, sort of.
Yeah, see? I know all this, Brian.
Stubble. Well done. That's very good.
I'm good at it, aren't I?
Hey, let me look. See what you've got in your diary. Oh, the dog has just arrived.
Hmm?
Oh, has it? Oh.
Oh, yeah, it has as well.
Look. There you are. Hello, this is Rufus. You want a game already, do you? Eh? Rufus is a... Oh, tickle, tickle time. Rufus, don't kick me. Rufus is a Labrador. Lovely. Don't, you're going to swallow that. Hey, let me take that out. Come on, come on. Do you like that? Is that your favourite thing? And he lives in the town, so this is a treat for him to come here for a couple of days to stay with us. He'll play with Bonzo and all the animals. You've got very big, sharp teeth. Show us your teeth. Look at those. Yeah, so he has to bite things like this to keep his teeth all sharp. And and it helps to clean teeth too for dogs, doesn't it? Do you like this? He loves squeaky things. He bites right. Oh, he loves a tickle. He likes biting right through squeaky things until he gets to the squeak, and then it no longer goes squeak. That bit gets lost. He chews them all up. You've got very strong legs, kicking me away. Look at those legs. How strong you are. Hey, come on, come over here. Come over here with me. Hey. Come over here with me. He's not going to let go, is he? What do you think, Dapple?
I think he's very playful, Brian,
very
isn't
playful.
he?
Yes, his teeth are quite sharp. He eats everything. He'll eat anything he's given except potato crisps. You don't like crisps,
I like a
do you?
good scratch.
Oh, kick me in the mouth, Rufus. He doesn't like potato crisps. Otherwise, he'll eat anything. Yeah, avocado, pear, anything he can get his teeth into.
Oh, a bit like Dapple then.
Bit
Well,
like Dapple. Yes, he is a bit like you. Ah, now you've lost it. I've got it.
I can't get into that
Come on,
position.
Fetch.
No, but you like your
That's it.
tummy being tickled.
Look at the mess. Hang on. I'll brush you. I've got you. Yes, look at this. Look. Look, lovely brush. You have to brush the coat of a dog and then it becomes all shiny and lovely. That's good.
He likes it better than I do.
He's should have a damp nose, you know. They should have damp noses. That means they're healthy. You look healthy enough, don't you?
He
eh?
does. He looks very strapping.
Yeah.
What
Well, you
sort of
look after
dog
him
is
while
he?
he's here, won't you? Eh?
What sort of dog is he?
He's a Labrador.
A Labrador, eh?
Yeah, yeah. Go on, go down the field and have a look. I'll throw your ring for you. Go on.
Yeah.
Go on. Go on. Whee!
I tell you what, pop
Bye-bye.
round my stable, Rufus.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian,
Yeah.
whatever happened to that pit pony, Di? You never quite finished telling us the story.
Didn't I? Oh, well,
No.
I'll tell you now then.
Rufus! Stop it.
If you live in Yorkshire or in Wales, or you've ever been lucky enough to visit those places, then you'll know that the skyline is very different to that of the south of England. For in many places, you'll see huge hills of black dust, and dotted in amongst them are tall crane towers with two big wheels at the top. These are coal mines. Today, special machinery is used to dig out the coal from underground and bring it up to the surface. But 50 years ago, it was a much harder job, for it wasn't done with machinery. It was done by men and ponies. And one of the ponies was a short, stocky Shetland called Di, and he worked in a coal mine in South Wales. He was a strong pony, which is why he was so good at his job. And every day, he pulled the heavy wagons of coal from the coal face where it was mined, along the dark, winding tunnels to the pit bottom. And here the wagons were taken up in the lift to the earth's surface. Now, all the ponies had drivers, and Di's was a young lad of 16 called Gareth. And they were very fond of each other. And Gareth would often bring him carrots and apples and cubes of sugar. But what Di liked best were Gareth's stories. For as he pulled and tugged his wagon up the slope, Gareth would stand beside him and tell him tales of the world above, about the sunlight on the leaves, the smells of freshly mown grass, and of the moon and the stars. You see, although as a foal Di had seen all these things, he'd spent so many years underground that they were now only faint memories. How Di wished he could see them again. Well, one day, or night, Di was never quite sure which it was, as it was always dark in the mine, he stood and waited as usual for Gareth at the bottom of the mine shaft, and he could hear the wheels whirring and clattering as the lift made its way down. "Hello, Di," said a clean, fresh-faced Gareth when the doors opened. "Come on, old boy, we better get going." And Gareth harnessed him up to an empty wagon. And then, holding his light up to show him the route, they made their way down to the pit face. It was noisy when they reached the bottom, as the miners used picks and hammers to get at the coal. And it was dirty and dusty too. Di coughed and spluttered in the fumes. When the wagon was filled, Gareth and Di set off for the lift shaft. And Gareth was singing, And as he sang, he walked at a faster pace. And it wasn't long before Di was left away behind. He could just see Gareth's lantern flickering in the distance. And then there was a low rumbling noise, and small stones began to fall around him. Di could just make out Gareth's light speeding back along the passage towards him. "Quick, get out of the way!" shouted his driver. "Get back!" But Di was still strapped to his heavy wagon. He couldn't move quickly enough. Then the ceiling caved in on top of him, and when Di woke up, he was lying on a soft bed of straw, and a sweet smell filled the air. He could hear bird song, and a warm light filtered through the open windows. These weren't the sounds and smells of the coal mine. Di pulled himself up and tottered over to the stable door, and he was met by the brightest light he had ever seen. Di blinked, and then he blinked again, and as his eyes became accustomed to it, he saw the sun in the sky, and field after field of fresh green grass. "Ah, so you're up at last," said the familiar voice of his old friend Gareth, as he strode over to greet the little pony. "You had me worried for a while. I reckon this fresh air will make you well again." And it did. But Di was never quite strong enough after his accident to return to the coalface. And so he came here to live on Dappledown Farm. And Gareth, who's much older now, of course, often visits him. And when he does, he brings him carrots and apples and cubes of sugar. But what Di likes best is standing with him in the meadow. Together, they watch and feel and smell for themselves the sun on the leaves, the freshly mown grass, and the moon and the stars. They aren't just stories anymore.
Oh, hello, Lucky Ducky.
Oh, hello, Stubble. What are you doing here?
Oh, well, me and Brian have come down to the pond because Brian's going to make me a boat and let me sail in it, aren't you, Brian?
Yes, I am. Are you ready? Do you want me to make it now? Yeah. This is something you might like to have a go at. It's quite simple, really. You just cut down a box, or it can be a box lid, whatever size you like. But this is quite a good size. And then all you need is a pencil and something to make the mast for the sail. This is a straw and a bit of paper or card for the actual sail. Now, I've got a bit of card here. I'm going to fold it in halves, like that, right? Just crease it across. Then I want to make 2 holes in this, so I'm going to be very careful. And instead of putting my hand underneath and poking the pencil through and making a hole in my hand, I'm going to use the plasticine there to make the hole with. So I'm going to press right through the middle with the pencil, so my hand's nowhere near it. So there's one hole. I'm going to turn it round and make a hole near the other end of it, right about there would be right, I think. 2 holes, right? Pencil's not needed anymore. It's nothing to do with the boat. Now, this is the mast. The straw is the mast.
Oh, the straw's the mast, is it?
Yes, and the straw's going to go through one hole and out through the other hole. Then I'll adjust it a bit. Bring that up to there.
That's just like a Viking ship, isn't it?
It is a bit like a Viking. Aren't you clever to know about Viking ships? And then the plasticine
that I
was
about them.
Just a minute. The plasticine that I was using to press the pencil through is got to be used to put the sail in.
You don't want to make a hole in the boat, do we, Brian? It'll sink.
No, of course it would. Right. Now, there you are. Simple, really, isn't it? A boat with a sail, and it should float on the water. Don't know, might not.
Should we give it a try, Brian?
Give it a try.
Yes.
I'll put it in there. Now, whatever you do, Stubble, don't get in it, all right?
Oh, no, I just want to see if it can...
Right. Oh, I've just remembered where I've left my hat. Remember what I said? Don't get in it.
Back to me, Lucky. It floats great, doesn't it?
It's brilliant, isn't it?
And push it right over here so it comes near the side.
There we are.
That's it. Oh, hey, Lucky, look at me.
But I thought Brian said you weren't supposed to go in it.
Why not?
Well, it's only made out of cardboard.
No, it goes really well. Look, Lucky.
But cardboard's not waterproof.
What does that mean?
It means it might sink.
Oh, Lucky! Oh, Lucky!
Get onto
Rip
my...
it!
Come on.
Rip it! I'm not too heavy for you.
Yes, you are.
I should have worn my rubber ring, shouldn't I?
You most certainly should have done.
Straw, I remember now.
Oh,
I was collecting
Collecting
eggs yesterday in my
in the
hat.
hat, and
and
it
it started to rain.
So
I
you
put my
your
hat and the eggs
back into the hen house. Yeah, it's here in my diary. I could have told you that ages ago.
Then why didn't you tell me, little sweetie
You
one?
went off to the pond.
Oh, yes, there it is. My lovely hat. Look, full of eggies.
Eggies. Count them.
Do you want to count them?
Count them, count them, count them. Egg,
1,
egg,
2,
egg,
3,
egg,
4,
egg,
5,
egg.
6. Ah, I'm a happy man again.
Hat.
Goodbye.